Thank you. What a beautiful crowd. Thank you all for being here. I know it's Sunday morning on a college campus, so a special thank you for being here. I want to thank the organizers and especially Molly for inviting me to be here. This is important work, and I really do feel privileged to be here and to be able to speak to you for a bit. I think you heard from each of the previous speakers, and you probably got a sense that this has deep impact on them, and I know many of you as well. I know that many of you come to this work through profound loss, and I am no exception to that. And I also know that many of us do this work with a deep sense of commitment to others and a genuine care for those around us. And I am with you in that too. And that is what I want to focus on today. My journey to this moment began on October 2nd, 2015. I was in Chicago at a conference, and when I woke up, I had several voicemails and text messages on my phone. When I called home and reached my wife, Elise, she told me that our daughter, Maya, had died by suicide. Maya was 15, a high school sophomore, and she and I had a very close and very playful connection. She was a real free spirit and also a deep thinker. And as I would later find out, she was suffering privately. The news of her suicide was a complete and absolute surprise to me. It was about 8 a.m. when I first got the call from Elise, and I did not get to the funeral home in New Paltz until 2 p.m. that day. As you can imagine, those 6 hours were some of the most difficult in my life. Holding it together enough to get to the airport, change my flight, and board the plane was a true challenge. I was 51 at the time, at the peak of my professional life. I made annual donations to charity every year, did occasional volunteer work, and considered myself to be a good citizen of my community. I would not have thought of myself as particularly spiritual or committed to any one cause or concern. But on the flight home from Chicago to Newburgh, that changed in many ways that I would not understand for some time. I see some of you nodding your heads. I know you know what I'm talking about. For many people, profound life-changing moments are imprinted in their memory. This was one of those moments for me. I was sitting in a window seat, huddled in the corner, my face between my knees, trying not to disturb others on the flight, stifling my cries. I remember this next part very clearly. Somewhere between Chicago and Newburgh, I felt a deep connection to other parents who have lost a child. I'd never felt that before. I felt my own loss, and I felt bonded to those who had lost a child as I did. As the trip went on, I felt a connection to people who had lost anyone. And finally, I felt a deep connection to the suffering of others for any reason, anywhere. This was a timeless journey for me. I really don't know how long I was in this state, but I know that over the next few weeks and months, alongside processing my own loss and grief, I felt compelled to bring love and support to others in need in the best way that I could. My wife, Elise, through her own process, met me on this path and was my partner in what unfolded next. Maya died on October 2nd, 2015. On November 6th, the Maya Gold Foundation was incorporated in New York. On November 17th, we had our first board meeting and adopted our bylaws. And on November 19th, we received 501c3 status from the IRS. The mission of the Maya Gold Foundation is to empower youth to access their inner wisdom and realize their dreams. To empower youth to access their inner wisdom and realize their dreams. Elise and I took quite a lot of time crafting that mission, and the mission really speaks to what was missing for Maya in some level and what we saw missing for many teens in our community. We embody this mission by teaching teen mental health first aid to high school students and by teaching youth mental health first aid to adults working with teens. Both of these evidence-based programs are critical in reducing mental health stigma and giving teens the tools they need to support a friend in crisis. You heard from some of the speakers before me how important that is, especially for our high school youth, but also I know for you all as well. Teen mental health first aid specifically addresses the ways in which a teen can recognize the warning signs and support a friend thinking about suicide. I cannot help but wonder if my daughter Maya would be here if this training had been available to her and her peers. I do know that many teen participants have told us that they have used the training in profound, life-saving ways with their friends. We have offered this training in schools and communities throughout the region and to hundreds of adults and teens. We also work to empower youth by taking teens to Nepal for a 2-week cross-cultural exchange and by advocating at the county and state levels for better mental health supports for teens and young adults. Our work honors our daughter Maya and all those teens who are in need of support and caring. Even as I live with my profound loss, I am grateful to Maya for her love and inspiration for our work. I began this talk by saying that the loss of my daughter Maya brought me to this work and to this moment. I know that many of you have similar stories. I don't profess to be unique in my journey or special because of what I do now. Rather, I do want to take a moment to honor your journey. Each and every one of you have shown up here today because you are committed to others and have a genuine care for those around us. I know that what you do saves lives. Even a simple act of taking a walk on campus saves lives. For that, I am really grateful. Thank you for being here.